Welcome back, guys. Thanks for joining me for another beer review. Just moving the camera back. Hopefully I'll be a little bit quieter. I do feel like sometimes I've watched a couple of videos back and I seem to shout. I don't know. Please tell me if I'm too loud. Anyway, move the camera back. We're back with another beer review now, and it's another one. It's actually the second to last one that my brother-in-law got me. I think the cat's having a funny turn outside. The brother-in-law got me for Christmas. He bought me a box of German beers. I've reviewed most of them, but some of them I'd already done. This is the second to last one that I haven't reviewed out of the box. So a big thank you to Steve for that. Much appreciated. I do also have a bottle of vintage ale that I will review that he bought me, but that's nothing to do with the box, if you like. Anyway, the beer we are looking at, and I think I've only reviewed one beer from this brewery, is from Rothaus Brau, and they're in the Black Forest, if you like, and we are taking a look at their Tannen zappfle, however you say that, but it's their Pilsner. There we go. It's a 330ml bottle, coming in at 5.1%. I think he worked out on average when he bought them, got them online, worked out about £4 a bottle. So yeah, probably over the odd, but you know you're going to pay a little bit more online, and no doubt there was a postage cost with it. But yeah, and I did have a quick look because I wasn't sure what style of beer this was, and that's how I found out it was a Pilsner. But they reckon, apparently some people reckon this is one of the best Pilsners, if not the best Pilsner in the world. It uses Tannen and Hallertau hops. Now I do like them hops in German beer. Spring water from the Black Forest and spring barley as well. So there we go, and it's brewed to the Reinheitsgebot. So I'm going to stop talking. There's a little bit on the back. There you go. Look at that. There's a quick look at the label, and it's foil on top, but I'm sure if you take that off, it'll probably have a fancy cap. So let's get this cracked open, see what we get. Just taking it out of the fridge. Apologies if this video seems like I'm just waffling, but that's the usual thing for me. Yeah, there we go. The foil's come off now. Rothaus, although I've bent the bloody thing now. So let's see if I can show you that quickly. Oh, bollocks to it. There we go. There we go. That's what it looks like. That's what it looks like. Right, let's get it into a glass. Pilsner glass at the ready, non-branded, but it's a great Pilsner glass. So let's get this out and see what we get. I think it was the Weizen of theirs that I done, and that was cracking. Now, if some people think this is the best Pilsner in the world, it's certainly going to be of some quality, that's for sure. There is a little bit left in the bottle, but beer in a glass. Nice carbonation. Looks like a lot of bubbles, but I wouldn't say it's a raging carbonation. A lovely sort of straw colour, crystal clear, and a lovely compact head on top. Looks like a real cracker. So let's give it a swirl, dive in with the nose, and see what we get. Yeah, that lovely German. Them hops, I pick up them hops all the time. Whenever I have a beer with Hallertau or Tannen in, I can tend to pick them up. Really clean on the nose, slightly bitter. There's that bitter edge on the nose that you get from the hops, but really, really clean. I bet the water quality in this is absolutely amazing because it just smells so clean. Slight maltiness. Wouldn't say I'm really getting a citrus note from it, which you normally do. Sort of lemon note, but yeah, not getting that from that. So, but smells really clean. So a little top up, there we go. Beer in a glass, looks fantastic. Let's dive in and give Rothaus Brau and their Tannen zappfle, in other words, Pilsner, a try. 5.1%. Cheers, everyone. I mean, that's really clean. As soon as you drink that, that's really clean. But I mean, it's a great beer, but it feels like there's something missing. And I'm going to say that sort of citrus note, but that's just my first impression. 5.1%. Drinks light, but there's just this little bit of maltiness in the background. The sort of, you get on the taste and feels like it fills the beer out a little bit. Carbonation is gentle, even though you might look at that and you go, I mean, it's obviously died down a little bit now. But yeah, you get that little sprightly fizz, but it doesn't overpower anything. All it is just pushing flavour around. Goes down easy. I wouldn't say it has that smoothness about it as such. More down to the style rather than actual beer quality. Definitely leaves you with a big bitter end on it. And for me, what I said, there was no sort of like lemon citrus note, if you like, that I was picking up on the nose. And for me, I think before I come to the taste, I think that is what it's just lacking, that little edge. But that could be down to me. That could be down to me. Let's get a bit more in the glass and we'll crack on with the tasting notes. I'm gonna have to be quick as well. All hop for me. Even the maltiness, it's there, but very light. It's definitely more of a hop forward sort of Pilsner, I would say. You don't really get that sort of breadiness from it. You don't get that weight from the malts that adds to the beer. I'm not getting a lemon sort of citrus note that you know you tend to pick up in most German beers. You're certainly not getting it here. What you're getting is very much, for me, a very clean, very crisp, very refreshing hop forward Pilsner that has a proper bitter bite to it. I'm not going to say it's overpowering. Certainly once your palate adjusts, it sort of tones down a bit. The first couple of mouthfuls, you're like, wow, that's pretty powerful on the bitterness. But it for me, it's a great beer and it's a very tasty beer, and there's nothing nasty in there at all. But it just feels like, for my taste buds, it's lacking that little citrus note. It's lacking that little bit of extra maltiness. But at the same time, it's not a bad beer. It's going to be down to personal preferences. Can I see why people think it's the best Pilsner in the world? I probably could, just because we all have different tastes on what we like from a beer. If you want something that doesn't have that citrus note, if you want something really clean, really crisp, really refreshing, which is what this is, and again, it's one of them that I think, I mean, to come out of my fridge, it's set at about 4 degrees. I think this set at something like 2 degrees or something, if you had this at sort of like 2 degrees, even 1 degree, it's really going to give you that crispness and refreshingness. So maybe I'm missing a trick with the temp I've got it at. But yeah, I can see why people would say this is their best sort of Pilsner going, because it's got pretty much everything that you'd expect from a Pilsner, bar that extra maltiness and that citrus note. The other side of it, you know, being the hoppiness and that bitterness and that cleanness and that crispness, makes it massively drinkable. But I think beers like this need to be colder, personally. If you haven't got that malty note, I think you really need to bring the best out in this sort of style of Pilsner, if you like, or the Pilsner with these flavours. I think you need it really, really cold to really bring out the best in it. But yeah, it's a cracking beer, and it's the second one I've had from them. Very decent beer, and to be honest, I've really had to struggle to not drink that, so it's got to be pretty decent, hasn't it? I'm going to have another slurp before we go. And yeah, that needs to be proper ice cold, that does, because you're still going to get that hoppy note. I mean, Is there a citrus note in there? I would say maybe. I just picked a little tickle up of it there, but we're at the end of a bottle now, so that may well come through afterwards. Certainly get the hops and that, and I think anything big and hoppy, certainly in lager form, you want really ice cold to really give you that Christmas and hit spot. Anyway, I'm talking shit now, or I'm just waffling to myself. A Rothaus brau and their Tannen zappfle Pilsner, 5.1%. Would I recommend it? Definitely. It's going to be down to personal taste. For me, it's not a big malty number with massive citrus notes, and if that's what you like, you are going to love it. But make sure you serve it really, really cold. I think that's got to be at like 2 degrees. 3 degrees just ain't cold enough for it. It's probably about 4 now. But yeah, great beer. So a big thank you to Steve once again. If you've had this beer before, let me know your thoughts on it. Thank you all for watching. Sorry for waffling on, and I will see you again soon on another one. Cheers.